This is the plaintiff, Evelyn Farrington. She says she was charged for 12 facials by the defendant without her authorization. The guy's running a scam, and she's here to sue for the $1,162.46 he stole from her. This is the defendant, Benito Malul. He says the woman came into his spa and paid for 12 facials at the discounted price of $1,000. Nobody forced her to give her credit card. He gives no refunds and owes this double-crossing woman $0. He's accused of refusing to do an about-face.
All parties, please raise your right hand. The People's Court is now in session, and the Honorable Judge Marilyn Leon is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay. Ms. Farrington, you are suing Mr. Malul's company, which is like a spa? What is it?
Yeah, I sell facial product, facial services, and creams.
Okay.
Yep.
You are suing them for $1,162.46 that you want returned to you for items that you say they inappropriately charged you for that you never ordered. Am I right?
Correct.
Tell me what happened with the defendant's company. Go ahead.
Sure. On 8/23, I went to the South Shore Mall. Upon approaching the defendant's store, I observed several employees outside of the store demonstrating products.
What kind of products?
Well, once I got there, I was stopped by a gentleman, a sales representative, that he introduced me to an eye cream, which I have right here.
Okay.
He informed me that if I was to buy this eye cream, I would get a complimentary product along with a complimentary facial.
Okay.
So we proceeded.
So are they like out there trying to stop people who are walking in the mall?
Exactly.
I run when that happens. When people do that to me, lady, lady, you're so beautiful. Come on, like you just want to sell me some. But so it's a marketing tool, and this is America. You stop and you want to see it, and you want to know more, and you go in and you test the products, and what happens? Don't tell me. Everybody goes, oh, look how young you look. Look how pretty you look. Oh, look, doesn't that look great on you? And I'm looking at it like I wouldn't walk out of my home looking like this, but not you. You loved everything and you liked it. And what happened?
No, you bought it in the...
Hold on. No, Mr. Malul, you don't talk at the same time. I'll give you the floor when she's done. All right, so go on.
Okay. So I was waiting for the one that does the facial. So then when he arrived, he brought in an iPad, which he placed right in front of my face as I was laying flat. He wanted to introduce me to some products, their skincare line and their device.
Yeah, there's no free ride.
So he left. Yeah, so
it's like a timeshare. Oh, just come in. All you got to do is sit there and listen to our timeshare pitch. And then 4 days later, you're still there listening to the pitch. Okay, go ahead.
So I was a little surprised by that. I thought that he was going to come in and start on the facial, but he didn't. He gave me the iPad. I laid down and watched the iPad for 10 or 15 minutes. He came back and checked in with me. He said, how are things going? How do you like the device? I told him I was not interested. I was like, and then he proceeded to tell me about the benefits of this product, which cost $2,000. And I said, no, I'm not interested. He then proceeded to tell me about facial packages, starting point of $8,000. I told him, no, I'm not interested. Wait,
what are they doing for $8,000? You can get a facelift.
I don't know, but it was facial packages that he started at $8,000. I was like, I can't afford that.
Okay.
And I told him, I'm not interested in that. I just came in for my complimentary facial.
Did you get a complimentary facial?
Like 45 minutes later, because he kept selling me this facial package. He went from $8,000 to $7,000. Every time I said no, he kept decreasing the price. So before he proceeded to actually do it was actually a face mask. It wasn't the usual facial that you get at the usual stores that I go to. So that was a little different for me. So he put the mask on and he said, what if I was to give you this facial package along with the free skincare device? I told him, no, thank you. I told you as before that I'm not interested in getting a facial package. Then he calculated 12 sessions divided by $1,062, which came up to $88. He was like, what if it was $88 for an upcoming facial? And I said, that's something I could consider. So he immediately went to the register and he was like, what day you want to come? So then he booked it and he said, do you have your credit card? I gave him my credit
for
card.
What?
I don't know, but I was confused and puzzled and just wanted to get out.
You just said that's usually, it's not the kind of facials I normally get. Okay, so you know how to get facials. You know how to pay for that service. You know the service it is. You don't pay until after the service is done. So what is it you're paying for at that moment, do you think?
I was thinking that he was charging me the $88
for a future facial, but you know that that's not how life works. When you get a service like that, which you tell me you've gotten, okay, you know that you pay after the service. See, this is important because what happens at that moment that you're going to try to explain away to me?
So I didn't notice what I signed and I left the store.
And what did you sign? Because you noticed now, you know exactly what you signed now.
I surely did.
Right. What did you sign?
Did.
What did you sign?
So I was charged for $1,062.46 for 12 facial packages.
Right, which would be the $88 a month or whatever it is, but it's all at once. And you sign this receipt, which basically has one figure on it. It's very big, and it says $1,062.46, and your signature is right underneath it, but you don't know what you signed? Are you sure it isn't that you changed your mind after you left and you figured out that this might be
I did not,
a little bit of a ripoff and maybe you couldn't afford it and it was a bad idea and what did I do? Because it's pretty hard for me to think that you are so naive that you're paying today for a service next month when you are a person who gets services, because you told me that's not the common facial. So you didn't just fall off a turnip truck. You've gotten facials. You know how this works. You know you pay afterwards. And there is your signature right under $1,062. Now, Mr. Malul, your version is she changed her mind and there's no, oh, by the way, what does it say right under that? No refunds.
No refunds.
Exchange only in 14 days. So, Mr. Malul, when do you hear from Ms. Farrington that, oh, you guys are predatory marketers and I want out because, well, you kind of are. As far as I'm concerned, this is America and we are a capitalistic society and everybody needs to connect their brain cells. But go ahead, Mr. Malul, let me hear from you because it's kind of distasteful. How often do people pay $10,000 for facials? Because I really got to be better to myself, apparently.
Just to let you know, this device over here costs $6,000.
Why?
This is how it goes. Because it's a blue light therapy that's researched by NASA, and we are the only machine that FDA cleared class as a medical device. And I see you do makeup, you do things, you do lipstick.
Oh, I do. Oh, honey, I do a lot more than makeup. I am not, if I could bathe in Botox, I would bathe in Botox. All right? I am not shy about it. But I would never pay $6,000 for a machine that relies on me to do it. I mean, I wouldn't pay if I went to, but why are you nodding? You're the one who's willing to pay $1,000 for facials.
Listen,
like I'm just, how often do people pay $6,000 for that machine?
Let me explain you.
Just answer my question. How often do people
every day.
Every day you sell a $6,000 machine?
Every day. And I want to show you, I don't know
every
if you
day you sell a $6,000 machine. I don't buy that you sell it every day.
No, I will send to that. Or I'm going to send you the
No,
the
you're not sending me. Don't send me any products. I'm telling you right now.
You will be my customer.
I'm not interested. I'm not going to be your customer. I want to be very clear. I'm not customers of any of my litigants. So no. Here's what I want to try to understand. Mr. Malul, my understanding of your legal position is that she bought it and that she signed it and that she just changed her mind, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
she's saying she's saying you defrauded her, your representative defrauded her and cheated her, and she never bought this.
Just not correct, because she get receipt and she signed about it, and nobody forced her to buy it. Like, she can say no, like she say all the time, no, 2,000, no. She can say on the 1,000 no and leave the store. Nobody gonna run after her. And also, Evelyn, before she even get to me, she don't even try to talk with me. She go directly to the Better Bureau Business. To the
Better
BBB
Business Bureau. And actually, that's interesting because I want to talk to you about that. I see all of the text between you. Hold on. No, you 1 second. I see all of the text between you guys, and I see that at some point it appears that you asked her, drop the Better Business Bureau complaint. In return for what? What were you going to do for her?
I will give her from the top just for good faith, because I don't need customers that not happy, because I care for my customer. I basically care for my client. I tell her, listen, you know what? I give you 60% back. I will give you more products. I cannot give you full refund because it's not with the policy. And I have it in record, by the way, Evelyn, I have it in email to you. $637 she's supposed to get in as a resolution to the $1,000 she paid. This is
and
what
then
you
what
hold
would
in
she
your
would
hand.
get 600 back and what? Still do the facials?
And she get product in the worth of $400.
Products
instead
worth
to basically-
$400.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what did you
I'm
think
talking
had been
after the
worked out
1,000.
that caused you to call the Better Business Bureau? What did you think they were going to do for you, Ms. Farrington?
Mr. Malul told me that he wasn't aware of this incident and that he deeply apologized. He reported that this manager has been doing this to several of his customers, overcharging people in order to get commission. And he said he was not okay with that. He already had several complaints already filed on the Better Business Bureau. And he said, this is not good for my business. He asked me to please close the BBB and he will fully refund me.
Do you have that in writing?
I don't have that in writing, but I do have a text message dating back to October.
Is this it?
Yes, it is, ma'am. Your
Okay,
Honor.
like I stated before, you sign on the receipt, not me, and you agreed for $1,115.63 charge that been made by your signature. On top, I explained and give you the best explanation I can. We suspended Laurel from work because of your case. And as a good faith, we willing to refund you $1,115 and charge you $88.63 like you've been promised. Just as a good faith, we don't have to do this as well, and you can go and do what you want as a consumer. So she's saying that you're supposed to change the charge to $88.63. What did you think you said in here?
So what I'm trying to say is basically we're gonna break it down for you for payments.
Why
to
didn't
the
you say
credit card
that?
company.
Because that's not in here. Why didn't you say that?
Excuse me?
Where is that
She
in
didn't
here?
agree.
You just heard me read that.
No, and charge you $88.63 per month.
Where's the
because
per
it's 12
month? Where's the per
installment.
month?
No, because this is... Listen,
Where's
okay,
the
so
per
let me
month
explain
in the
first of all.
letter? Stop and
Please-
listen to my question.
Please let me explain.
First, tell me if per month
Judge
is in there.
It's not say per month, okay? It's
Right.
the 11, they had the 11.15. If I break it down for 88.63, it's 12 months. So
Right.
it's per month.
So
This is
can
what
you
I mean.
agree with me that your email was or text was a little less than clear because you didn't add the words per month?
My English is not my first language.
No,
so
I know.
Maybe you're right. It's not
Right.
my first language, so
Right.
I write it by myself. I try to be super. And you can ask Evelyn. She was surprised that I'll give her such a good service in the beginning, and we had a good faith of talking and figure it out.
I did
Until
not
then,
say I
she
got a
didn't
good
was
service.
she didn't was happy. She didn't was happy with
So
what I did
here's
for
what
her.
she texts you. Good morning and happy Sunday, Benito. Thanks again for your understanding and for refunding me the funds back into my credit card. I agree to make a one-time payment for every future facial service I schedule. I have canceled the facial appointment for 10/25. Well, that's a little suspicious. And then he writes, happy Sunday. It's not what we talked about. I'm sorry. If you want to meet this week and talk on everything face to face, I will be happy. Have a great Sunday. We can meet anytime this week. And then you say, can we meet at the Starbucks across the street from the mall? He says, let me see. Then you say, I'm no longer interested in meeting with you. What happened? What changed from you're going to meet with them to you're not going to meet with them?
So Mr. Malul, we had a phone conversation and he had changed the terms to the agreement. So he had indicated that that's what we were going to do moving forward, that he was going to reimburse me and that he was going to just charge me the $88.63 for the upcoming facial service that never happened and never taken place as of yet. So then after that, he had sent me the resolution form, which was very different than what we had talked about.
What
The
did it say?
resolution form.
88 whatever a month for 12 months?
No, the customer resolution form from the Better Business Bureau says that he was only going to give me $637.
Yeah, where did that come
I was
in?
like-
Because there was another, I do see a resolution for it talks about six. So when did the $600 come into play, Mr. Malul?
The 637 coming from that after that she say she don't want to meet with me, I try to figure it out again. I give her a call. I tell her, listen, I don't understand what is the situation. Let's figure it out quickly. I will do something like this. Instead, you're going to pay me because I didn't give her a refund. I never agree for give her full refund. It was per this that she's going to pay 88 per month. This is the agreement that basically she talked about. And after she didn't want to see me anymore. She didn't want to meet with me. So I call her and I tell her, listen, I can give you $600 back, 37, half of the tax too. So you're going to only pay 437, whatever. and you're done. You don't need nothing. You don't need to pay anything. You don't need to come for facials, and I will give you basically items as worth $400. She didn't agree for anything.
Okay. Ms. Farrington, here's what we got. We got the two of you trying to reach an agreement. We got the two of you not reaching a final agreement. He says he said one thing, you say he said another. Either way, you guys don't have an agreement, okay? You have, I believe with every fiber of my body that what he said to you was $88 a month for the next 12 months, and that was fine with you until you realize the way he wrote it, and then you say, that's lovely, thank you, and I'm just gonna buy one. And then he said, wait, that's not what we talked about. And then you're gonna meet, and then you decide, I'm not meeting. I got enough with that one email, I'm not buying that. I'm also not buying your testimony in court where you tell me that you thought you were only paying $88. I don't buy that because here's your letter, the same exact email that you want me to look at that you sent to him is where you say, I was transparent in my verbal conversation with you and the text message canceling service with your store, canceling service. So you know that what you had was buyer's remorse, okay? You know that, but you've come into court and you've given me this song and dance about how they defrauded you, you thought they were only going to charge you for a future facial, $88. You didn't look at what you signed. And frankly, I don't like people lying to me. If you can't come to an agreement, $88 a month, and, okay, I'll get a facial for $88 a month, and I'll do it for 12 months, I have a contract, or I'll take $600, and then I'll take $400 in product. He makes you these offers, you don't take them, and that's fine, that's your prerogative. Put your hand down and listen to me, I am ruling. They have really good salesmen who stop you in the mall and you don't have the good sense to keep walking because you're interested. You want to see the product and you like the product and they're selling you the product, and it's not like they're selling you magic beans. They're not Jack and the Beanstalk. They're selling you a product. You are a grown woman who has had facials her whole life. You know whether you want to buy that cup of coffee for $40 or you want to buy it for 40 cents. Me, I'll buy it for 40 cents. It's not even worth 40 cents, okay, this cup of coffee. All right? But I look at it and I say, you know what? I am going to pay $200 for that cream because I love how it makes me feel. Or I'm not going to pay $200 for that cream. You make a decision. You are an adult. I don't buy things in places that don't give refunds. All right? You went to a place that had no refunds and it said it nice and big right over you. Please don't look me in the eye and tell me you thought you were paying for a service you were gonna get next month, because I don't believe you. There are basically two things on that piece, three things. The price, $1,060, your signature, and the words no refunds. And then I see right from your last email that you said I canceled the service. You know darn well you bought it. So unless you two were able to reach a resolution, which you weren't, you leave me to enforce the law. And the law is not looking good for you, okay? The law is not looking good for you. You bought this, you're entitled to the service, you go in and get the service, or you don't go in and get the service. But I am not gonna order him to return the money because you signed very clearly $1,000 something, and your texts themselves admit that you were trying to cancel it afterwards. You have what is known as buyer's remorse. And you entered into this contract, not me. You signed something that said, no refunds here, I'm happy, I'll pay it. You changed your mind, and frankly, hindsight's 20/20, but you really should have taken one of the many deals that he offered you. Now, whether you two want to work something out in the hallway is up to you, but my business is done, and based on that receipt, I am ruling in favor of the defendant.
Thank you, Judge.
So you heard the judge, Ms. Farrington. She gave you quite a lecture there. She thinks you knew what you were doing, and a deal is a deal. You got to pay the money. What are you thinking right now?
I do not accept it. I accept her ruling. It is what it is. But honestly, I was tricked into this. This is not what I had signed up for.
Well, I'm sorry, but the judge found against you, and you're on the hook. Mr. Malul, I guess you're okay with the decision, right?
I'm happy with the decision, but I want to say to Evelyn that we are a business. We're not playing game. We're here to make money. I hope for the next time she just gonna think before she buy.
All right, listen, she's got the package now. She's got to pay for it. Can she get the facials?
She can definitely come and enjoy from this, or if she don't want to come because of the inconvenience between us, she can get a product worth in $1,000. I will do it for her for good faith. I give her some daily routine and I give her some stuff from the company that's worth more than $1,000, and I will do it from my heart.
All right. Well, that's for her to think about. What do you think, Harvey?
Okay, Doug, so this is a situation that repeats itself over and over and over again. And this is where somebody gets really excited and they say, oh, yeah, I want this. And they sign and they don't read what they're signing. This is such a good example. You got to know what you're agreeing to, especially when you're putting money down. In this case, the plaintiff, whether she knew or not, she didn't read it. And because of that, she lost.
What universities did you and your husband attend?
Oh, okay. Well, I went to the University of Miami for undergrad.
The U?
The U, which was the only university, it was the only college I applied to.
The only one you were allowed to.
The only one that I was allowed to apply to.
Well, of course.
Because my parents would not let me go away because, of course, I was a chaperone to my senior year in high school and was incredibly sheltered, and they were first generation. Right. I was first generation Cuban American, and they were crazy. And then I went to Georgetown for law school, because somebody talked my dad into not being a crazy Cuban, and he went ahead and said, yeah, go ahead, we'll support you, do it.
And I went to Boston College undergraduate and worked for a couple of years. And then ultimately I got into law school at a couple of schools, one in Buffalo, New York, State University of New York at Buffalo. And then
tell that story, because you were about to start in Buffalo.
I was supposed to start at State University of New York at Buffalo on Monday. And on Friday, I got a last minute admission to another school, Suffolk University. And I kind of made the decision that weekend that it was a better environment for me to be with a certain group of people in Boston than a certain group of people. I
hope none of your old friends in Buffalo are watching.
It worked out well for me. It was the right time for me in the right place, and I did well enough to, thank goodness, get a good job when I got out of law school. I wasn't summa cum laude like you were.
But you came to Miami, and what happened that you didn't leave Miami? Because your plan was always to go back to Boston.
Oh, yeah. I married a Cuban woman, so I'm here forever.
That's right. You're stuck in Miami forever.
And it's not so bad, right?
It could be worse.
I say I'm a prisoner in paradise.
Right.
So.